So you've got this brand new studio facility.
Yes.
You're making movies. It's
Yes.
fantastic. So tell me about how
I'll tell you about
how you
right.
transitioned into music.
Well, let's talk about IMN Creative, just about the whole Dolby Atmos thing, because this is where shit gets really amazing. Okay, when I decided to build a studio, I wanted to build what's called a vertical studio, vertical deployment of all the bells and whistles of how to make a movie or how to make content. Let's stop calling ourselves movie makers, new media makers, music makers. Let's just say we're all in the sandbox making art, and we call that art content because we sell it as professionals so we can feed the vein, right? All right. I was very fortunate through the individuals that I was working with to meet a lot of Dolby engineers that were working on a new technology at the time, which was immersive audio. They had another name for it for the life of me. I can't remember. It was kind of silly, but it did become Atmos. And I saw Atmos, and I absolutely, the first 5 seconds of witnessing an immersive audio mix demo, I pooped my pants entirely. I didn't care if this was going to be the most kick-ass format that everyone was going to do. I just wanted it. What I wanted to do was like, all right, I'm going to build this facility, and everything. I'm not independently wealthy. I don't have backers, but I knew that I always believed in the philosophy: if you build it, they will come. And stupidly, I followed that philosophy, and geniusly, I followed that philosophy. I approached Dolby saying, hey man, I want to build Atmos stages. Now, hear what I said, plural, stages. I said Atmos stages. And Dolby looked at me and laughed, understandably, because, they're not cheap, but, and I'm not only am I going to build these Atmos stages, I'm going to build them from the ground up, and I'm going to build them to spec. And that was the time of Doug Greenfield and Steve Venezia, beautiful people, and they were like, okay, kid. I was still pretty relatively young. Good job. Yeah, sure you will. Okay, and off I went. And I went on this journey to build the stages. And the next thing I know, I brought them in, and they started almost crying. Doug almost cried. He was looking at the plans. He's looking at the speaker placements. He goes, my God, dude. He's like, you built this to spec. And Venezia goes, and you didn't scream at us. And I went, nah. I screamed, I just didn't scream at you. It's not, rightly so, in the beginning, because nobody knew really what was going to happen and how to do it. We were obviously carving through. Atmos stages to build, not difficult at all. And actually, there's so much stuff out in the ether, and there's so much stuff that you can just call Dolby and get that information to put it in your house, or for that matter, put it into your studio. It is not an impossibility where everyone thinks, oh my God, it's going to break my pocketbook. That's not the case anymore. So anyway, building these stages, off we went, and we started immersifying. And day in, day out, working with it, understanding, playing in the awesome forest of immersive audio, just kept bringing newer and newer ideas. And the great thing about immersive audio, one, having more is more, and that's a good thing. But all of a sudden I equate immersive audio to what, and 5.1 and 7.1. 5.1 and 7.1 is like dealing in a painting, like a painting. Yeah. Immersive audio is dealing in sculpture. And as we're all artists, and we're always trying to take a visual image in our head and produce it. Some of us can draw it, some of us can sculpt it. I happen to have, and a bunch of my friends and all, and acquaintances and colleagues, we sculpt in sound now in immersive. So that's the key fabric as an inspirational entity, and also as an ability to tell incredible stories, narrative stories now with sound. It's a whole new world out there with this stuff. So getting into the music stuff, how did this post-punk get it back into the music? Because I swore, well, I did build an immersive Atmos studio at IMN 622. It was I think it was the first immersive Atmos music stage built at the time. But that being said, I got hooked up with a couple characters, Cary Grant and Ned Jones, from a company called IA. And they had an idea about taking the new media concept of what is happening today and creating an immersive space. So they had all these ideas, but they had some of the Ed Jones, coming from the ILM group and et cetera, and multi-Academy Award-winning individual for VFX and et cetera, as producers. They knew how to do it visually, but they had no kind of focus on what to do sonically. So when they met, I was working on some film, I forget the name of it, but I was working on some film with them. We had a sidebar talk, and they go, "Hey, would you be interested in joining up with the team?" And I said, "Of course I would." And I saw what they wanted to do, and lo and behold, I introduced them to Dolby Atmos. And I saw Ed Jones' eyes go, "So you think we can do this at the Football Hall of Fame?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then I called Dolby, and they went, "You said what?" How can we do this? Now, the great thing about Dolby, and forever I will be so ever grateful, is that the fact that we were plowing into something that had never been done before, of obviously we're taking stuff out of the film arena and now putting it into a whole new arena. The support and the backup that I got from the company and the individuals was unprecedented. And lo and behold, yes, you can go to the Football Hall of Fame, you can go see a real stand-up hologram of Joe Namath talking to you in total immersive, and the show is absolutely incredible. From that, 2 weeks after that, a load of money came into their company. I wish it was my company, but it came into their company, but they're not leaving me out. And they were offered to partner up with Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction, for all you old timers, and obviously the creator and curator of Lollapalooza. So, and Perry, an amazing individual, as well as one of the most incredible artists I've ever had an opportunity to work with, sat down with me and kind of told me his Perry Farrell story of what Kind Heaven is about. If you have a chance to go look it up online, please do, because I'm not going to give away the details, but it is a Perry Farrell extravaganza. With that being said, Ed said you need to sit down with Mark, because Mark's doing this stuff called immersive audio, immersive mixing, with this format called Atmos. And now this is the crazy thing, because a lot of people hear about this immersive content and they're like, "Oh, it's binaural." Well, yes, it can translate to binaural, but then some people start thinking, "Oh, it's binaural beats, and I'm going to get my alpha and zeta and beta waves in my brain all chilled out, and we're all just going to..." No, it's not that. So when Perry came in to the studio and he started talking about binaural beats, I'm like, well, that would be a very fascinating thing. And I quickly did a binaural beats in Atmos, which is really soothing and cool, and it did work. I was like, "No, dude, Atmos mixing is this immersive, three-dimensional world of taking your music from stereo and building it and putting the listener into it." And he just went, "Do what now?" But that's not Perry. Perry just went, "Okay, Mark." But all right, I said, "Well, look, man, you're working on your album. Give me a couple tracks. Let me demo some of these things out. Come back in a week." So Perry went, "All right, what the heck?" And Perry, I get the tracks, put it all together. I start mixing it. Perry comes back the next week. He goes, "Hold the presses, stop the album. This is how I want to make music." And for 6.5, 7 months, Perry and myself and family sat there and indulged religiously in mixing immersive music immersively.
John, what excites you about that as a consumer listening experience?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. All these years I've been very blessed to be in rooms that cost millions of dollars, or at least, and they had. I remember listening to the Soul album, Peter Gabriel's Soul album, on Questheads for the first time, on these massive Questheads on the stage, and I mean, it was a religious moment. And I had very few people in this world have the opportunity to be in those places to receive the genius of these composers, musicians. Now, with the ability of doing Atmos for home and allowing because again, getting a little technical, the great thing about the immersion, the thing about everyone goes, "Oh, well, it's 3D, okay, I get it." The cool thing is the difference between 5.1 and 7.1. The surrounds from 5.1 and 7.1 in film business. And I know everyone's tried to do their 5.1 and 7.1 music mixes, and to some extent they've been pretty good. But the reality is that the surround speakers are cut off at 70 hertz. Hello, it's not full frequency. So it's not what's up front is not what's on the side and behind you. Immersive mixing is. Every speaker is bass managed. So when you pull things out, the timbre doesn't shift. You're not losing bottom end. You're getting full frequency response all the way around you. And it is, I mean, when Perry turned to me after listening to a playback, he just went, it's like being on drugs without taking drugs. And it is an experience that I just don't even, I don't do it justice to explain or express how amazing it is. You just got to go listen to it. But the great thing that is now at us, and you're seeing, it's not, Dolby leading the way, obviously, but all the other companies that we're dealing with are all putting this immersion into, Atmos into their packages, not because someone's throwing them money, because they sat down and listened to the darn thing and went, holy shit, man, we better get on this train. So my advice to everybody, and yes, of course I'm passionate about it, and of course I'm really geeky about it, my word to everybody is, it is better, it is amazing, it is more expressive, it goes to 11, and I kid you not. So it's accessible, and if you just go online and just type in Atmos home theater, and you'll see all the major companies on the planet are supporting the format. So it's not like yes, I mean, art is self-indulgent, and we should be selfish in our way, but we also need to share it. This platform is certainly shareable.
So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us here, and look forward to carrying on working with you on this music thing as we go forward. So enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much. And the one thing I will say, after everyone listens to an Atmos playback, the thing to say is, Atmos?
Thank you, Bob.